And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Well, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is set to announce his candidacy for president tomorrow. This is not a recording. This brings the GOP total to 14, Bill Tucker. But shortly after Mr. Christie announces, Ohio Governor John Kasich, otherwise known as your 45th president of your United States, will announce his candidacy on July 21st at the Ohio State University. Many in the know thought he would never announce, in part because of low polling numbers nationally, and compared to big names like Clinton and Bush, he's not exactly a household name yet. But the 63-year-old governor said on CBS's Face the Nation Sunday that simply because his focus has been on fixing his home state of Ohio.
I didn't travel outside the state. I didn't go out in politics. What I wanted to do was fix Ohio. So we went from $8 billion in the hole to a $2 billion surplus to a balanced budget to the largest tax cuts in the country and growing 360,000 jobs with everyone having a chance. Now I can go out and tell my story, and hopefully the polls will rise. We'll see. Do my best. That's all I can do.
Tremendous. The governor also shared his thoughts on last week's Supreme Court ruling to legalize same-sex marriage across the country.
I believe in traditional marriage, but the Supreme Court has ruled, and it's the law of the land, and we'll abide by it. And I think everybody needs to take a deep breath to see how this evolves. But I know this. I mean, religious institutions, religious entities, like the Catholic Church, they need to be honored as well. And I think there's an ability to strike.
And that's how you answer that question. Can Kasich overcome his low polling numbers and actually be a factor in this race?
I actually think he will be. I mean, he's not somebody I'd be inclined to vote for. We have obviously big differences, but I think he is truly a decent man, and that counts for a lot. And I'm even willing to forgive the fact that when he and I spoke at the beginning of the football season, he told me that the Ohio State Buckeyes were not a good football team. Wow. That would be the same Ohio State Buckeyes that won the national championship. So we know he can be very, very wrong.
Probably didn't get a look at that third-string quarterback that led you to a national championship.
Well, that's his job. He's the governor of the state. He should have.
Good point. Good point. So Heather, obviously, you know where my allegiances lie.
Right.
I hope, America, it is somewhat refreshing that you have somebody saying this is my horse in the race, as opposed to people saying I'm not sure, or I'm trying to be objective or anything. No, I think this guy could be a great president, and only because of what he did in Ohio. And you can't put him in a corner and say he's an extremist, right? Or Romney, oh well, he's rich, he can't relate, or McCain, he's old and grouchy. I think in terms of a candidate that would face Hillary Clinton, he would absolutely give her the most problems, because I don't really see too many negatives outside of the fact that he may not be able to raise enough money.
And he's handled so many issues well. You know, the Tamir Rice shooting of the young black boy who was shot by the police there, and how he got together and has a police force agency meeting with people in the public. The other thing is he's likable. That quote just there, I mean, I think we all laughed out loud. You know, you like him, you smile with him, and that's a big part of winning the presidency, is having the electorate like you.
I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't come across really as a politician. And the fact that he has TV experience will help him.
Well, no, he's likable, and he's got a great record. He's got a great story. Yeah. He took a state, he turned it around, he fixed it, he made it better.
So what's the
and
problem?
You liked it.
And more importantly, I don't think he has any skeletons, like many of the other Republican candidates whose skeletons we're still going to hear about.
Yeah, I think you are betting on a good horse, because I think more people, the more they see of him.
Vice President.
I don't know who do you.
He's not
a Bush.
It's Bush Kasich.
Well, and the other thing I was worried about with him was Medicare.
Tough to beat.
And how he expanded Medicare in Ohio. But now with the Obamacare ruling, that may not be so much of a problem for him.
Yeah, that certainly helped him as well.
I thought it was awesome that he did that. You know how much heat he took from fellow Republican governors, but he cared about the poor people.
But that's where I thought it might hurt him in the primary. But now that Obamacare ruling has happened, maybe it won't hurt him so much.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll see. But glad to hear that he has your votes at least. And you would be comfortable.
Let's not get carried away.
You would at least be comfortable with him in the White House.
I would sleep at night.
Out of most Republicans.
As long as he keeps that temper that's kind of lurking under the surface under control.
That's dicey.
And I know too many people who work for him, so I know some of his downsides.
It's a dicey line, right, between passion and temper. So, but I think he doesn't go over it, not yet anyway. GOP hopeful, meanwhile, Dr. Ben Carson won conservative Summit straw poll this last weekend. That was over 209 votes, 900 votes, excuse me, 209 votes. Carson is the first person to win this poll back-to-back since it started back in 2011. That's surprising. He polls well, and he's winning these straw polls. Previous winners include Texas Senator Ted Cruz of Florida, Senator Marco Rubio, and Herman Cain, the former CEO of Godfather's
much
Pizza.
for that poll.
999, right? I remember him.
Yeah.
Do I even need to ask if the straw poll means diddly for 2016, Hanson?
I think most polls mean diddly, and I think this means less than diddly.
Double diddly.
Less than
Right,
diddly?
diddly squat.
The history of this poll would indicate that history ain't his friend.
It's like the Iowa straw poll, how it almost predicted no presidential winners
Yeah,
since
ever,
1954.
like
Right?
one.
Yeah, Bush.
This is we can move on from this.
But are
I
you
think.
surprised Carson does as well?
No,
as he
I think
does
people
within
like
the
Ben
party?
Carson. He is a likable guy. I think everybody knows, even those who vote for him, that he cannot be president of the United States.
we have
Absolutely,
Kasich
but he'd be a
Carson.
great Surgeon General.
Yes.
Great Surgeon General. Anyway, let us know what you think about the race for the White House so far and John Kasich's chances. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and we may read some on the air. We got them coming in already. Coming up next, it's potluck time. This is the Daily Wrap. Do not go anywhere.